and forests of the Dolomite Mountains to make it here to the final.
Good evening and welcome to Cortina, Italy for the World Field Championships. As you can see, we have a beautiful course set up here on this ski jump here in town. This evening will feature the 4 team gold medal matches: senior men, senior women, junior men, and junior women. Each team consists of 1 barebow shooter, 1 compound shooter, and 1 recurve shooter.
We'll be starting with the women's senior team gold medal match.
For those listening at home, I am Crystal Gauvin from the USA, and this is
Matthew Requa, also from the USA.
So as you can see on the screen here, the women's team, Slovenia, lost to Italy, but they won the bronze medal against Great Britain, last World Field Champions, and Germany beat Great Britain to face Italy in this match.
Italy gets a chance to take the title on its home turf, so it should be an interesting match.
So as you can see here, the teams are being introduced. First out is Italy, followed by Germany. We have a lot of experienced shooters on both teams. We have past World Field individual champions as well as some team champions.
This is going to be a very interesting finals venue. As you can see, it's on the bottom of a ski slope. We have almost 38-degree angle from the bottom to the top of the targets. So it's going to be some very challenging conditions for the gold medal match.
Germany, Cortina, Lisa Undru.
Some of you may recognize Lisa from the Indoor World Championships in Vegas.
Italy per l'Italia, Irene Franchi.
And Irene won the women's gold individual medal last World Field. So again, a very experienced team on both sides.
The judge for this match is l'arbitro per questo scontro, Brasco Ignaz. Athletes, please take your positions.
Each team will shoot 4 targets, 1 arrow per person at each target.
Each team will be able to choose between its compound and recurve shooter who will shoot first, but the barebow shooter must shoot.
Each team has 2 minutes.
So the distance will be 45 meters.
So we have Irene, their compound shooter, up first. And she shoots a 5. The scoring rings are 6 is the center of the yellow, a 5 is the rest of the yellow, and it's 4, 3, 2, 1 down from there in the black. Now you see them moving up to the 35-meter stake for the barebow shooter.
Cross slopes are extremely difficult for recurve shooters because you're standing at an angle and the target's at an angle, and you tend to cant your bow just a little bit, so it will be not surprising if they both shoot a little right here. As you see there.
And that's a 4.
15 points, 15 punti per l'Italia col 4-5.
So 15 points for Italy, and now it will be Germany's chance for 2 minutes on the clock. They also decide to lead off with their compound shooter.
Compounds generally have an easier time with the cross slope due to having a bubble on their scope. 6 for the compound.
Now Lisa is up.
Follows her teammate right into the 6th ring.
So if she can match the other barebow shooter with a 4, they'll have a 1-point lead. Anything better will obviously increase the score.
It's a 3.
That's a 3, which ties it up after 1 target. 3 more to go.
Italy will shoot first on target number 2.
Before we move on to target number 2, abbiamo 15 punti per ambedue le squadre, da confermare effettivamente ancora.
For those unfamiliar at home with barebow, they do not have a sight, stabilizers, and you'll see them anchoring a little differently on their face than a typical recurve shooter.
How they judge distance is that they, what is called string walking, they will count certain strands on their serving and then grip the string at that point so they can aim with the point of the arrow.
What we have now is
what you see here, Germany, we see them holding up their bow. That's to figure out the angle, because while the meters are given the distance to the target, archers do not know the angle of the degree in which to shoot the target. So they must estimate this on their own, and there's a lot of different systems for doing that. And you see, again, them raising their bows up to try to get an idea of how steep these angles really are.
The steeper the angle, generally the shorter the distance you would put on your sight tape. So if you're shooting a 30-meter target at a 45-degree angle, you would shoot approximately 75% of the total distance. But with barebow, this comes with an added difficulty because you tend to short or not draw back as far during your shot. Then this will affect your arrow in 2 ways. It will obviously slow down the arrow, and since the arrow is not going as quickly, the arrows tend to be a little stiffer. So for a right-handed archer, it will shoot a little left, and for a left-handed archer, it will shoot a little right. So you have to be very careful where you're drawing, because barebows also don't have a clicker that gives a recurve shooter how far to draw back.
So we see Irene leading off again. Let's see how they did with judging that angle. We have a 5, and it looks like perfect height, so I'd say they got that pretty good. That looks like a 3 high.
13 points. Sorry, 8 points at the moment. 23 total.
Looks like the footing might be a little tricky here, so she's trying to cut up the grass a little to find a good place to balance herself to be able to make the best possible shot. See her leaning back to keep, again, the draw length as similar as possible to her normal draw length.
And
I think that's a low 4.
Yep. Give Italy 12 points for this target. Let's see if Germany can match.
Now Germany shoots. Ora Germania.
Low 5. So she might have cut a little bit too much off of this.
See if Lisa can learn from her teammate and put one in the 6th ring.
You see nice straight bow.
25-meter uphill, and it's a 5.
It's a
2
5.
fives for Germany.
So that
Secondo
2
cinque
points
per la
over
Germania,
Italian
prima che
recurve shooter.
l'arciera Boscher, arco nudo,
In
tiri
team
la
round,
sua
people like to
ultima
think
freccia.
about matching their counterparts. So the compound shooter trying to match the compound, the recurve versus the recurve, and the bare bow versus the bare bow. She takes her time, draws back. And you saw her
Germany
bow
takes
actually
the lead
cant a little bit to the
with
side, which produced a left arrow there.
Va in vantaggio di un punto sull'Italia.
But it was good enough to give Germany the lead,
Halfway through, Germany
and
leads
Italy will
by 1, 28
lead
to
off on target number
27.
3. In field archery, a lot of archers talk about that the bare bow shooter is the most important for team rounds, because usually compounds are pretty solidly in the 5 and the 6 ring. Recurves are generally also in the 5-6 ring, but bare bow has a lot of instinctive capabilities that they have to learn and to shoot, so that creates the greatest variability. So as long as the recurve and compound do the job, it's the bare bows that can really make up the difference.
So we're halfway through the match, and Germany's up by 1 point, which means Italy will continue to shoot first.
Normally the 20-meter bunny target would be one of the most hated targets for field shooters, but today on this finals course it seems to be the easiest of the targets here due to its very low angle.
Also for the Germans. And who is cheering for Italy?
We see the stands are pretty packed here. A lot of people came out to watch these finals matches. Again, we see each team setting their sight before they step up to the stake to shoot. Checking, double checking to make sure they have that right.
Shooting 30 meters at a 20-meter birdie will not put you in the scoring rings.
Looks like a 5, just high. Compound shooters really should be hitting 6s here. That's what you expect to see in a finals venue. And that's a 2 high, which that indicates to me she probably shot that for slightly the wrong distance, because her left and right was good. Just pretty high on that target. Now we come up, the bare bow is shooting, I believe it's 10 meters. And that's also a 2 high. So that definitely opens the door for Germany to extend their lead.
Third target now for Germany after Italy.
Birdie targets are exceptionally difficult because the margin for error is so small that even the slightest jump or the slightest change in distance can just throw it out into the 2 ring, as you saw.
Now compound shooters talk about losing a match on the bunny target because most people are going to put it in the middle. Recurvers talk about how they can, that's a place they can pick up points, because typically a recurve archer is going to drop a point or 2 here. So Germany starts with a 4, so let's see what Lisa can do.
Ooh.
And she missed the target. Wow.
That is not something you see from Lisa very often.
That's pretty surprising. You see, again, she was right in the middle, left and right, so indicates she probably misset her sight, if I had to guess. She doesn't know. You can see on her face she doesn't know what she did, so I don't know. Now on the bunny target, each team member needs to shoot an arrow in one of the bullseyes. You cannot have more than one arrow in a particular bull. And we see she catches the one ring, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But it still gives them now a 3-point deficit to Italy going into that fourth and final target. So that was a huge game changer there. So can Italy take advantage of that? We will see.
As we head to the fourth target, it is going to be a 80-centimeter face directly up the slope. It's going to be extremely difficult for both recurves and barebows to get to their proper draw length, and it will just be hard to get your bow to that angle. And the larger the distance is, the more percentage you have to cut. So if I would have to say, you would have to shoot this for approximately 45 meters.
And again, we see holding their bow up to kind of judge that angle. And when we look at the target faces, you'll see they're actually at an angle because it's such a steep slope. The targets cannot be flat on the slope, or the scoring rings would actually be shrunken down in size and how much was available. So the targets are actually suspended at quite an angle to stay flat relative to the archer. So this target here could definitely be a game changer depending on how accurate they are in judging what this angle cut is. A great view here of how far down they really are and how steep up this is. So Germany leads off.
It's a 3.
Not sure where that, it was a 3. So we're starting off with a decent first shot. I'm sure that's not what she wanted.
Let's see if Lisa can put one in the 6th ring, which Germany desperately needs here to take the gold.
You saw them talking to one another, telling her where to make the adjustment. You see a nice straight bow from Lisa, but she hits a 1, so low, even lower, and a little bit left. So can their barebow shooter put up a good arrow here? Because right now they only have a 1-point lead before Italy even shoots an arrow. So hitting low means they probably cut too much off. They thought the angle was steeper than what it was.
Third arrow of the German team.
And it's very hard to hold correctly in the yellow. Tendency is to hold low on this target. So people tend to probably are going to tend to take too much off.
Oh.
0. Miss.
And that's a miss. So that was a tough target for Germany. Let's see what Italy can do. They need 1 point out of 3 arrows to tie. Anything above that is going to win them a gold medal world championship title. So not a lot of pressure right here. They just have to get up there and shoot their shot with a halfway decent guess. This is really where you want to be in a finals venue. You want to have that advantage going in to know, hit the paper and you're good. And that just won them the match there. A 2. Gives them a 38 to a 37 without even shooting their last 2 arrows.
Even though Italy's just won, the compound shooter does not seem to be very happy with her shot.
You'll notice she hit high, meaning she probably didn't take enough off after watching Germany hit low. Ooh, miss. And a miss. This is a tough target, folks.
And believe me, These are the best
Watching
women
these
we
ladies
have on
shoot
the field.
earlier this morning
is really
shows
hard.
they were not missing the 4-ring most of the day.
I would
So
challenge
seeing them
anybody to shoot
miss,
this target.
let alone hit a 2, is just shocking and shows the difficulty that this angle will give archers.
And we see how high she's got to lift her bow up. Look at that steep angle. And
Miss.
And also,
they got lucky. Wow. 38-37. So that bunny target made all the difference.
Both archers, but we have a new world champion.
be interesting to see how the other teams will deal with that target later in the day.
So we'll see if anyone was paying attention. The teams that are coming up next, were they watching the women to see what happened? Are they going to make adjustments? We will find out. So again, we have Italy takes the gold and Germany with the silver medal.
And congratulations for silver medal, Germany.
So sometimes in these finals venues, we see it's not about hitting the good shots. It's about not making the mistakes. It's about not losing the match.
Già prima di cominciare
Next we have the
questo
men's
percorso
senior men's
era
match. Full no match.
There's your 3 winners. Women's team champions.
the limit for these archers on this course. It's a really hard course.
They look happy, but not as happy as you are used to seeing champions.
2 hours ago for the
I think they're all a little frustrated with how they shot that last target, but
and the girls here were the best girls we have in the world. And it was challenging for that. We had world champions, Olympic medalists.
again, look
on
at
the
how
field.
steep that is. You see the stairs running up the side.
And
We had the
will
crew here all
soon
afternoon
resume
running up
with
and
the
down those
second
stairs, bringing the targets up. I heard it took 12 hours to get those targets on the very top, set up and ready to go.
And the judges and the scorekeepers built their own little path.
Next up, gold final for the men's team.
Featuring USA and Germany.
We have U.S. defeating Italy and Germany defeating Austria to make it to this gold medal final.
Now, please welcome the competitors.
And you'll see coming out first is the reigning world champion team from the U.S. 2 of the 3 members of this team are returning from Dublin, where they won the gold medal. Brady Ellison and John Demmer were members of that team, along with Dave Cousins. And Steve Anderson actually was the individual world champion in Dublin. So this is a pretty stacked team by the Americans, and they will be facing off against Germany.
Representing Germany, per la Germania, Jens Asbach, Florian Halun, Michael Meyer.
So both teams are being introduced. Then we'll have the judges give their instructions, and we'll go right into the match, just like we did with the women.
John Denver third. And Brady Ellison.
Brady Ellison is the reigning field champion. He also took the world championship in Croatia 4 years ago. And is known for mainly being a target archer, being a 3-time Olympian and 3-time Olympic medalist. Steve has been tearing it up on the target field, on the target side of archery too.
So along with his field world championship medal, he also has a team world championship medal from Mexico from last year as well for outdoor target. And this afternoon, during the semifinal matches, we actually saw the barebow shooter, John Demmer, was actually beating the recurve shooter, Brady Ellison. So pretty exciting to see some great shooting by some barebows in this tournament.
John Demmer actually beat Brady in both the quarterfinals and semifinals, with Steve cleaning the semifinals with perfect sixes. And Steve will be leading us off.
So as the top-rated team, the Americans shoot first. So you could see Steve was not happy when that shot broke.
4-5 low.
4 is not what he wanted on that first opening target. You see Brady shooting the Fairweather tab. He also, another 4. Let's see what John can do. Can he carry his two teammates? So unlike the women, you see John walks up himself to the stake. His teammates stay back behind. Every team can choose how they want to do this. And it looks like they got a great group, but all in that 4 low. Indicating maybe they all cut a little too much off, so surprised you didn't see a little more communication between them. But let's see what the Germans can do. You'll notice they actually are also going to start, looks like, with their compound archer. So we've seen all 4 teams so far leading off with their compound archer.
And 6 open up. Looks like they learned something from the Americans about what sight to use. Florian also puts it right there, just out left.
So if their barebow archer can have a good arrow here, that can give them a pretty significant lead after 1 target. We see him looking at his tab, counting his strands. He shoots a very quick shot, and that's a 3 left.
Which will give Germany a 2-point lead, allowing USA to shoot first on the second target.
Results to be confirmed by the judges. And we
now they move to the second target. Again, you'll see them setting their sights, adjusting.
Uphill.
This is the cross hill target. So again, they're shooting across the hill instead of up the hill.
Uphill and 20 for Gabon.
Judges are saying if Steve's arrow was actually a 5 instead of a 4.
Shooting first, in any case, USA. The confirmed score is a 4.
So it stays a 4, so 2-point lead to Germany.
14 points, Germany. It's confirmed. 2 punti di vantaggio per la Germania. Punteggio
You'll see
confermato.
each team is allowed a coach out there.
12, Germania 14.
Sometimes the coaches are there for moral support, sometimes they help with the cuts.
Sometimes they're just there to keep things fun and to keep their head in the game. Just whatever the archers prefer.
Coaches must stay in those little blue boxes. However, they are not allowed to leave that area each target. So USA will open up again with Steve. So this is 25 meters and hanging low 5. So another arrow, very similar spot to his first arrow. See if Brady can adjust from his first. And he can. That's a 6.
That's what you're expecting to see from Brady.
It's a 6, so it must be 6 and 5.
So now their barebow archer steps up, and he will be shooting at 20 meters. Again, nice view of that angle that they're shooting at. This isn't easy by any means. Looks
And
like
it's a
4
4.
left. So
15
good target
points
for them,
the
15.
USA. 27 total.
Now Germany steps up to the line to see if they can
27 punti totale
match or beat the
per gli Stati Uniti
USA on
d'America.
this target.
So again, the compound and recurve will be shooting at 25 meters. See, he's using a wrist index release, which is not common on the world stage. But you will see a few archers with those. And that's a 4 low, so he wasn't happy with that. You could see as soon as the arrow released, through his arm.
Tried to push it just a little higher to get into the 5 ring, but wasn't able to.
Oh, that could have been costly. Let's see if that sight adjustment paid off.
Good height, just a little
It's a
left.
4 on the left.
Yep, so my guess is probably some canting on his bow with this angle. Again, we see a bare bow archer really stomping into that ground to find some good footing. See, he's shooting a bright yellow bow just like Steve Anderson. There's some talk that field archers seem to find the gold if they shoot a yellow bow.
It's a 3.
And it's a 3, a little
11
high.
points for Germany, 15 points for the USA.
So with that, the Americans take the lead by 2 points. So that was a big game changer of a target, 15 to 11, which means Germany will now lead off on target 3. So remember, with the women, this was the target that made the match. So let's see for the men what happens here.
Si va ora sui finocchi sulla parte destra del percorso. We are moving to the right side of the field to shoot the bunnies. And Germany.
Knowing Steve, he would really like to get a 6 to get back his confidence before the final uphill shot.
We'll see team round, a lot more camaraderie, people laughing, smiling, joking. A little different than individual final matches.
We are about to start.
See a little bit less nerves in these matches with your teammates standing around with you and supporting you. So Germany will lead off. And again, 1 arrow into each bull on this triple bunny target.
Compound shooter will be the lead off Germany.
So this is 20 meters.
5.
Looks like a 5. And they'll move up to 10 for the bare bow. Now he will really like to see a 6 here. Make up some ground from his teammates. Holds a little longer that time than he did the last arrow, and yep, has a 6.
It's 16 or eventually 15
really
points
raise
for
morale
Germany
of your
for
team.
40
Seeing
points.
your barebow shooter shoot that 6.
See Brady and Howe stomping out the ground. And correction, they're actually shooting 15 meters, not 20 meters for the recurve and the compound shooter. Steve's going to expect a 6, and yes, he gets it.
It's a 4.
Brady shoots an uncharacteristic 4 on the 15-meter bunny.
Oh, let's see if John can match his German counterpart.
Which I believe earlier in the semifinals he did shoot a 6 on this target. See if he can do that again. Ooh. Slight flinch and
a 4.
ended up with a 4.
So we have a 41-40 lead at this moment.
And as we saw with the women, anything can happen on this target. Even the best in the world can shoot misses with these kind of targets. Anyone at home that wants to get an idea of how steep this really is, just think of drawing back and aiming at your ceiling in your house, and then move the target 60 meters away, and you'll have an idea of what this target really looks like to these archers. It's pretty intimidating when you're down here at the bottom of the ski slope looking up at that.
Do you think the nerves in the gold medal match were enough to have the angle and watching the women's team miss 3 out of 6 shots?
It's confirmed.
So you see the teams talking amongst themselves, trying to make an accurate guess, trying to set their sights where they need to. You see Steve shaking his head. He's not sure.
United States 1 point in lead.
Doesn't seem very confident.
So again, Germany's going to lead off. So we'll see if that's an advantage for the Americans.
We have to confirm the result.
A lot of discussion going on both teams.
1 second before we start.
Who's going to get this right? Who's going to make the best guess? That's going to be the difference in this match, with 1 point difference going into the last target. See the judge holding them up for a minute.
Right now.
To make sure the field's set. The crew's off the field.
The shoot is 60 meters uphill, steep uphill on the Olympic ski jump slope.
Let's see if Germany can start off strong here. See if they can get the angle correct.
So the recurve and the barebow are going to be depending on this compound archer to make a good shot, so then they can adjust based on that. So that's a solid shot, a high 4. It's a good first arrow, and he can relay information back to his teammates on what they need to shoot this for.
That's 3 by looks of it.
2-3 liner. They're calling it a 3.
Correction, they're calling it a 2.
Oh, 2-star. Yeah. So we will get a judge's call. Both of those archers were high. Let's see if the barebow makes an adjustment.
And clicker, this is a very difficult shot.
Now you see that yellow card in the coach's hand. That will be raised when there's 30 seconds left to shoot. We haven't seen that used yet. All the teams have been pretty quick, and that was a quick shot and a 2. Will that be enough?
48 or eventually 49 for the
USA needs 7 to tie and 8 to take the gold.
For Germany.
Let's see if they can figure this shot out.
Again, U.S. is the reigning world team field champions, so I know they would definitely like a repeat here.
Talking with Steve, Brady, and John earlier today, they were upset in their matches, individual matches, so they are striving for gold here. Steve seems to have a little problem with his keeping his arrow on his arrow rest.
Yeah, both Steve and Brady will be shooting for bronze tomorrow individually. They both missed out on the gold medal match.
Along with John. They all lost in the
All 3.
semifinals.
So good height,
4.
but definitely left. Steve knew it. You can see it on his face. Probably broke the shot left. See Brady shaking a little bit. We see those stabilizer rods, and that's
2-star 3.
2-star as well. So far they're matching the German team, which means a 3 to win. Can the barebow pull through here for Team USA? What do you think, Matt? What's he going to shoot?
Knowing John, he's going to put it right there in the 5.
Quick shot, and that's a miss. Wow.
So we have to wait.
That's very uncharacteristic of John.
To disappear from the scoreboard.
I think he didn't mean to let go of that. It was a very quick drawback for him. He usually holds a little bit longer, so. We do have those 2 starred arrows, so it's not confirmed yet, but tentatively it's a 48 to 47, but that could change if US gets the 3 and Germany gets the 2. Germany gets the 2. We would see a tie match. We'd go to a shoot-off. So that means 3 of the 4 barebow shooters have now missed this target. This is a tough, tough target. So the judges are going to look really closely at those 2 arrows, because again, that could be the difference. In the, oh,
nope.
Germany wins the match.
It's a 2.
Regardless of Germany's arrow, they have won, and they are the world champions for 2018.
Here in Cortina, Italy.
And upgraded.
And they get the 3, so they actually win by 2 points. 49 for Germany, 47 for USA.
Germany upsets the reigning world champions.
And you'll see they are very happy with this win. A little different than the women. They know they earned this. They came through clutch on this last target. Congratulations to Germany, the new World Field Men's Team Champions. See mud on the clothes of the archers out there. We've had a muddy week out here in Italy. Some nice weather, but lots and lots of mud the archers have had to slog through up and down these hills. A lot of people slipping and falling, but beautiful courses. Couldn't have asked for a prettier venue.
Even when your arrows were in the 6, you always had a great view no matter which angle you were looking at. We're surrounded by fantastic mountains out here.
So again, here is your new World Field Men's Team Champions.
Well earned. Well earned.
So there's another view of just how steep this ski jump really is. The sun's starting to set here. We had a very warm day today, and temperatures are starting to fall. We'll see if the lighting plays a factor in these last 2 matches for the juniors. First up will be the women's junior team match. You'll see both Italy and Sweden very easily won, bringing them to this gold medal final, and Team USA took the bronze against Great Britain by 9 points. So we have 2 very evenly matched teams heading into this gold medal final. Again, it's going to come down to who can correctly judge these angles and where to set their sight.
Probably very intimidating for these young archers watching their senior counterparts struggle with this course.
Yes, for sure. As a barebow shooter right now, I can say I'd be pretty nervous seeing 3 of the 4 shoot misses in this final target. But remember, some of these juniors have World Cup experience. They have competed on international level before, and some are new to it. So you get a very mixed bag in the junior field. So let's see how these girls do. Looks like a little bit more nerves here in the junior category than we saw in the senior category. A little less laughing and joking around and a little bit more serious faces.
Seems like we have delay as they reset the field for... Oh, never mind.
Again, nice view of how green it is here. Very beautiful countryside.
Seems we have a technical difficulty delaying the shoot. During the week, all these archers had to shoot 24 unknown targets, meaning that they had to judge the distances, and then 24 known targets. Once again, they were not given the angles, so they had to judge what to actually shoot them for. And some of these courses this weekend were extremely difficult, both in the amount of uphills and downhills and side hills, and also the amount of hiking that they had to do at over 5,000 feet elevation.
View of the beautiful mountains. And it looks like we are just about ready to bring these teams out.
We have to say it now so everybody knows. C'è da dire una cosa, la giuria d'appello è stata chiamata in causa per un errore fatto sul paglione numero 3. C'era la distanza
a lot of countries participating this week. Full week of shooting.
Cancellato dalla giuria d'appello.
And again, tomorrow will be the individual finals matches. First out will be the team from Italy. So can the junior women match their senior women counterparts by winning the gold medal here?
Representing Sweden.
So Sweden first. Again, one recurve, one compound, and one bare bow shooter. Compound shooter just about lost her bow there.
Representing Italy, per l'Italia, Sara Re.
We have a lot of Italians in the crowd today.
I believe the Italian compound shooter will also be shooting for individual gold tomorrow. So that could be an advantage for her, having already been out here and shooting the targets. We'll see how this match goes.
The Italian recurve shooter also is shooting for gold tomorrow. So this will be good practice for her, too.
Target 1, Italy shoots first. L'Italia inizia a tirare.
We have our cross slope 40-meter target. Let's see how these juniors can handle these tough conditions.
So the judge asks if they're ready, their sights are set, and they'll step up to the line to start. With, I believe, Italy shooting first. See more discussion here with the coaches on what to shoot this for. So you see in the senior category a lot more the archers making the decision. Here in the juniors, you see a lot of discussion with the coach. So low 4 to open up. And we see her teammate cranking her sight. So probably cut a little bit too much off that. we'll watch, see if she cants her bow. She shoots it out the top.
It's a tree. Play.
Also on the right side, the side slope.
Second.
Up to the left
7 points.
on that one.
So can their bare bow make up for that 4 and 3 shoot one in the yellow here? She steps up pretty confidently. Shoots a quick shot, and that looks like it's a
Another
3.
10 points. 10 punti per
10
l'Italia.
points for Italy on target number 1.
E guardiamo la Svezia. Now Sweden.
Now as the sun sets, that will affect their sight marks as well, so how they adjust for that, lighting conditions, can play a factor. So a lot to think about in field archery. So unlike the other teams we've seen so far, Sweden leads off with their recurve shooter.
And matches her Italian counterpart with a 3.
So no adjustments by their compound shooter. Nice quick shot, and it might have caught the 6.
5 or even 6.
5-star, the judges are calling it, so we'll have to wait for official ruling.
Sweden the lead.
So we see her lean back to keep that draw length consistent, and a solid 4. So 2-point lead for Sweden after target number 1. See a little deep sigh there. Feel a little bit of breath of relief. Move on to target number 2, where Italy will go first, since they're currently down in the match. You hear the crowds cheering for both teams.
A little louder for Italy there.
Home field advantage never hurts.
No, it does not.
Let's see if they can use that to overcome their 2-point deficit. So they'll wait as, again, the field crew will and the judges will score the arrows. They'll pull the arrows, and then they'll reset the field for target number 2.
It's a 5, so it's a 2-point lead.
So it was a 5. She did not get the 6 on that arrow, so it stays a 2-point difference. Again, as we've seen so far, 2 points is nothing on this course. Really, anything can happen with 3 targets to go.
Both the archers are making sure that they have stable footing. See this quite common.
And Italy starts.
Being able to stand properly really helps you be able to execute your best shot possible. So we see she's shooting a thumb trigger, quick shot, and right in the 6th. She'll be happy with that.
There's a lot of confidence to your next 2 shooters when your first shooter opens up with just a dead center 6.
No hesitation, she put that right in there. Ooh, saw a little movement on the back and forth with the bow, and she was smart and let it down. Start over. We've seen the archers have plenty of time. Again, we see a little bit of side-to-side movement. But she shoots a 5, so this could be a great target for them if their bare bow can put a third good arrow in the middle. So they've already shot higher than they did on target number 1 with 11 points, with only 10 on target number 1. And again, a very quick shot, and that looks like a 2.
Not what she wanted to see, but that is good enough to beat the Italian women on this target in the gold medal match earlier today.
To shoot on the right side.
So the junior archers beating their senior counterparts. These will be the future senior team members. So great experience for them to be getting as juniors. So let's see what Sweden can do. Had a 2-point lead coming into this. Again, they lead off with their recurve.
It's a 3 high left.
Looks like a 3.
We'll see if their compound can match.
She's top of the 5.
8 points.
So
before the
they need their bare bow to hit gold here to match Italy on this target. This is a 20-meter target for the bare bow shooters.
Four. And this 4 gives the lead to Sweden.
A 1-point advantage. Italy picking up 1 point, but not enough to overtake the lead as we move on to the 15-meter bunny target, 10 meters for the bare bows.
So again, Italy will shoot first on target number 3.
Judge leads the archers to the bunny.
If you've noticed, Italy's recurve shooter has been, or Sweden's recurve shooter has been high on both of her arrows, so we'll see if she makes a correction moving into target number 3.
23 Italy after halfway, the gold final for junior.
You see the flags of all the participating countries along the side there.
L'Italia un punto dietro la Svezia a metà di questa finale per loro juniore.
Each team setting their sight. And again, this target is probably the easiest target out there in the finals venue. Let's see which team will capitalize on that. So she checks her sight before drawing back. Looks like a 5. Some adjustments to her sight, and it's now her turn to shoot.
Or just a little bit high.
They'll move up with their bare bow shooter to the 10 meters. Again, a good arrow here by the bare bow shooter is pretty important in terms of the match win overall.
Quick shot.
Looks like a 3. So there's no rule in what order you shoot each of the bulls on the target. Each team can make a decision based on what each archer's preference is.
But if one archer were to put a second arrow into one of the targets, they would lose the higher scoring of the two.
So Sweden just needs a 12 or better to keep their lead. We saw a nice shot by their recurve archer for a 5.
Oh, a 6-5 liner.
See, they're calling it a 6. So with that, their bare bow just needs a 1 for them to maintain their lead going into the 4th and final target. that's more than a 1. That's a 4. So we now have a 4-point lead for Sweden going into the 4th and final target. But as we've seen, anything can happen on that target. The girls seem pretty relaxed. They're pretty happy, but can they get this cut right?
We saw before, barebow are 1 for 4 on this target. And the recurves have only hit it 3 times.
We've seen very few arrows in the yellow. So judge taking a look at that arrow just to make sure that was a 6.
Shooting first on target number 1.
So Italy's going to maintain their position shooting first.
39-35.
We have a 4-point difference.
Who is cheering for Sweden?
Normally shooting first in target archery is good. You can set the pace of the match. But shooting first in field can be a disadvantage as you don't get to see what your opponents do and learn from their arrows.
They'll step up, and we are into our 4th and final target. Again, this is a 60-meter, very steep, angled slope. See how these junior girls handle it. Check in her sight. You'll notice a lot of the compound archers out there are going to be using thumb trigger releases. At these angles, it can be very tough to activate a hinge release. So they'll have a little bit more confidence with the thumb.
5.
Solid 5, so much better than the start we've seen from some of the senior teams.
Italy, if you remember, Italy scored 2 points in their gold medal match on this target. Both the recurve and the barebow missing.
Now look how far she has at that point. That's the tough part with recurve on these steep uphills, is getting through your clicker. See, she started a little bit higher that time. And that's a 2. So what is the barebow? Can we get another barebow archer to hit this target? Can we get a scoring arrow here? No.
A little left on that one.
So we're 1 for 5. So 3 points for Sweden to tie the match. 4 points will give them a win.
And that may not seem like much, but after watching this target for the first 2 matches,
we know that's tougher than it sounds.
Regardless of this match, Italian does have, the junior women have little bragging rights over their seniors, beating them by 5 points on this target.
Let's see how she does getting through the clicker. A little tough to see, but we see some. Ooh.
Miss.
So as we said, 3 points to tie, 4 to win.
3. You have a tie.
Ooh. It all comes down to this barebow. Can we get another barebow archer to hit a scoring rate? It's been a long time since I've seen matches like this.
Normally going into the final target just needing to hit would take a lot of nerves off you, but this target, the nerves are still there.
As we've seen, it's very difficult for the barebows to hit this target. And we are tied. It's a shoot-off. Italy versus Sweden both shoot a 42 to head to a shoot-off. Now to shoot off, each archer shoots 1 arrow. each team will be scored, and if there's still a tie, it'll be the closest arrow to the center.
We have Italy hitting the 5, the first yellow.
We see the teams laughing because that's
Cortina.
all you can do when the scores are what we're seeing out there on this target. It is tough.
And now we shoot the first shooter.
Italian team seems especially happy because they only gave Sweden 3 points to work with. So they are very lucky, or at least they feel very lucky that they are still shooting this.
So now you see them moving over. We are now using a target we have not seen used yet today, but it's a very similar angle to what the last shot was. They're going to shoot 35 meters for the compound and the recurve, and I believe 25 meters for the bare bow. So this will be shot on a 60 centimeter face.
It will be a 45-meter target with a 40 for the bare bow.
Bellissimo stadio del trampolino a Cortina, 45 metri sulla visuale.
45 meters is the max distance that the 60 centimeter face will be used for, and making it one of the harder targets to shoot, and especially on this angle, probably going to be one of the toughest shots today.
So again, very similar angle to what they just saw on the larger 80 centimeter face. It's a slightly smaller face, but at a closer distance, similar angle. So let's see how they adjust from that last target that was trouble for a lot of the archers out there right now. We saw 3 misses amongst the 6 archers on the field on that final target. So we're waiting for the field crew to give the okay that everything's reset. And Italy will start the match, start the shoot off, because they were the team that started the match as the higher seeded team. So they will get to go first. Again, 45 meters for the compound and recurve, and 40 meters for the bare bow.
Looking at this target, it seems that the footing will be worse than the 60-meter target, as they're further up the hill.
So if we remember, she had the great 5 to give them the tie. Can she have a good first arrow here?
And she does.
Yes, another 5, so that was clutch. That could be the difference in the match right there. Let's see what recurve shooter can do. Remember, she struggled with her clicker, so let's see what she does on this one.
She has about the whole point to go.
Let's see, she's struggling to get through, but she's pulling and lets down. So we'll see if she starts a little higher up with her arm this time, just like the last one. I can attest, having shot my first field with a recurve, how difficult these uphill shots are to get through that clicker. We had one the other day, and she looks like a 2. On the mark day, we had a very steep quad target that was very, very difficult to get through when you don't have good footing and you're at an angle. So let's see, the bare bow again has a more difficult angle than the recurve in the compound, being further up the hill. Let's see if she can hit the target this time. And she does.
For a 1.
So an 8 is an 8 good enough to win this shoot off. And again, if the score is tied, it will be the closest arrow to the center, so that's why the 5 is a very important arrow for Italy. We see Sweden step up. Just like we've seen in the past. The recurve shooter starts off. See, she leans back before she even starts pulling to help with getting through the clicker.
3.
So that's a good arrow. That is 1 point better than the Italian recurver.
Oh. And that will clinch the match.
That is the match. Sweden wins the shoot-off. Oh, they're saying 5-star, so. But it is closer to the center. Does not matter what the barebow shooter does here. Sweden has won against Italy.
But knowing the barebow shooters, they probably want to.
For pride.
Yep.
And she hits the bail, just doesn't hit a scoring ring. But 8 points to 8 points again. That 5 that is just off the 6th line, I believe they're calling it 5, is the closest arrow on that target to the center, giving Sweden the win. They are your new World Field Junior Team champions. So the compound archer from Sweden came through clutch in that match, and we see the judge signaling they have won.
A well-fought match by Italy. Congratulations to them with the silver, but the gold will go to Sweden.
You can see how excited they really are. Again, they fought hard. This is a very tough course out there. Disappointment on the Italians, but nothing to be ashamed of. They battled all the way through and shot great on some very, very tough targets. We see the Sweden fans cheering.
Almost as happy as the archers themselves.
With that, we have one final match of the evening. It will be the junior men's team match, gold medal match.
Between Italy and the United States of America.
So we've seen Italy out there in 3 of these 4 matches, and we've seen the Americans out there previously as well. So did their teammates share information with them about these targets? We'll find out. We see Italy defeated Sweden 61-40, and USA defeated Slovenia 59-50, and Slovenia took the bronze in the junior men's team round competition. So based on their semifinal matches, Italy definitely is the favorite here, but we'll see again if the Americans were able to get some advice from their senior counterparts.
Italy has entered the field a little early, it seems.
So they are exiting the field. We don't see that too often in a finals field. They bring out the coaches. Again, we see the stands are full here in Cortina. So the sun is down. We now have no shadows across the field. It's all dark. And hopefully that will not be a factor for the archers with the compound archers with their levels being able to see without much light. I believe the Italian team has some experienced team members from past World Field Champions, while the American team is a fresh batch. So we will see how that plays out.
Connor Sears, the compound for the United States, will be shooting in the gold medal match tomorrow.
Individually.
And shooting it today as a team. So this will be a good experience for him.
Again, sunglasses up on top of the head. The sun has gone down for the evening. I know the Italian fans out there are really going to be rooting for this junior team after some disappointment in that last match.
Also, the Italian barebow shooter will be shooting in individual gold tomorrow. So, hopefully you can learn from today.
As an archer, you always want to be shooting team round in the finals venue because it always gives you a chance to get the lay of the land for your individual final matches. In field, it's even more so. So the Italians will shoot first as the top-ranked team. We see them following the trend that we've seen by most of the teams with the compound shooter leading off.
It's a 4.
Starting off with a 4 for Italy.
So we've seen that tend to be the case today. At this first target, for some reason, we've seen a lot of 4s by the compound archers.
Four right on top of it.
So they are consistent. Let's see what their barebow does here. Does he make an adjustment based on both of them hitting low? See him carefully counting out those strands. Looks like a call to 3. So 11 points for the Italians.
All the Italians' arrows seem to be on the right side. Seems like the cross angle is giving them a little trouble on that target.
Let's see how the Americans do. Again, we have some newbies out there, so let's see how they handle the pressure of a finals venue and these angles. See another thumb button by a compound archer, and that's a 6. So that's what I think might be the first 6 we've seen on this target by a compound archer today. Again, these are the future of this sport. This is the juniors. So matching the other recurve archer. See if the barebow can at least match, which would give the Americans a 2-point lead. Misses the target. So Italy leads by 1 point, 11 to 10, which means the Americans will shoot first on target number 2. We see the fans really getting into this match.
Shooting target 2, which is again the 40-centimeter uphill target, 25-meter.
Now we head to the 40-centimeter target.
20-meter for barrel.
A little bit more uphill, so left and right won't be as much of an issue on this one.
And 10 points for United States. Shooting
Pretty calm out there, not much wind. The board is saying we have half a mile to the left, just a breeze. So really not much of anything out there. So one less thing for the archers to deal with when they're out there trying to figure out cuts, trying to figure out footing, angles. At least the weather's cooperating for them. We have seen pretty much all weather this week. We've had sun, we've had rain, we've had cloudy, we've had it all.
Luckily, we did not have any snow this week. But remember remember correctly, the U.S. compound shot clean sixes in his last match for the semifinals. Let's see if he can continue his trend at this target.
And again, we're seeing the juniors outscoring some of their senior counterparts. That was a pretty quick shot, but it's still 5. He caught yellow, so he'll breathe a sigh of relief. See a little bit of torquing of his bow.
Ooh.
And he misses. Looks like he missed it as sight. Way off the target.
Could have been that the arrow fell off the rest with.
So now they know their barebow needs to have a good arrow here. And after his miss, he needs the confidence, and the team needs some points here.
And there we go. There's the 6.
That's what they needed.
The Americans are very pleased with his shot.
And he just said yes. You can tell he did miss set his sight. The coach asked. He looked at his sight and shook his head yes. So that is why the miss. So let's see what the Italians can do here. Open with a 6. So they're not backing down.
4 points for Italy.
So 4 points. So the match is tied at this point before the barebow shoots his arrow.
Barebow very aggressive with his footholds there.
.20 meters. Any scoring arrow is going to keep the lead with Italy. Looks like a
13 points, 24 total, 21 for
halfway through the match, Italy has a 3-point lead, meaning USA will start first again on target number 3. Again, we've seen huge swings on this bunny target and the 4th and final target. So a lot left in this match. 3 points really is nothing. See the arrows being transported up and down the mountain.
They may lose their arrow tooth there as it gets stuck on the support.
So both teams setting their sights, and the Americans step up. 2 minutes starts.
Hopefully for the USA, the recurve will set a sight on the correct distance.
Looks like
they're calling it a 6.
thought it might be a little low, but they are calling it a 6, so we will see. So he followed up his miss with a solid arrow, so he'll be happy about that. So we have 6 and a 5 for USA.
I'll give a lot of confidence to the recurve archer going into the final target.
So let's see what their barebow does here. Again, he must shoot that empty bullseye.
And solid 4.
So that was a very good target for USA, 15 points. It's one of the better scores we've seen on that bunny target today. So can Italy match it to maintain their 3-point lead? Or are they going to give back some points? See, this is a pretty easy target to aim at 15. It's a little tougher at 20. Looks like it's just a high 5. So again, against his counterpart, that's a 1-point difference. That's a 3-4 liner, calling it a 4. So again, a 1-point difference from his counterpart. So we could see a swing in the match here. All comes down to what the barebow archer can do at 10 meters.
If he can keep it at least a 4, they will have a tie, a gold. Will give them keep the lead.
Looks like a 5. So we do Italy's arrow. Second arrow, the recurve archer, was downgraded to a 3-star. So too close to tell. We will wait and see. But if it's a 3, they have a 1-point advantage. If it gets upgraded to a 4, it will be a 2-point advantage going into the 4th and final target. Either way, USA gained at least a point back on that target.
But going into this last target, as we've seen before, anything can happen.
So it was a 3, so it's a 1-point difference going into the 4th and final target. So let's see if the barebow archers can hit the target. That could be the difference in the match. Again, we'll see if the junior men are able to outshoot their senior counterparts, like we saw with the Italian junior team, women's team.
They did outshoot them on that last target.
Yeah, by quite a bit. So see what the men do. Let's see if both of these teams have had teammates out there. Let's see if they got good information passed down to them about how to shoot this target. Because as we've seen, it's not easy. You know that the barebow on both teams is really feeling the pressure on this target, knowing how difficult it really is. 1 out of 5 has hit that. 6, that was beautiful, and he is pumped. Look at that. Pretty sure he got some information from Steve, the compound senior counterpart. So he does here. We see him being a little tentative. It's a 2. So can the barebow hit the target? That's the question here. That 6 was huge. Again, we'll see if he got some advice from his counterpart, John Demmer. And he hits the target. Only the second person, barebow archer, to hit the target today. So they're feeling pretty confident with that 9, which normally you would not be happy with a 9, and they are pumped. So 3 arrows to go.
Pick up 8 points here to tie, 9 to win.
Let's see, this compound arrow is going to be very important here. He can put in the yellow, and it's a 4, so that puts some pressure on his other teammates. They need to have solid arrows here. It's a 3. So we're at 7. So 2 to win, 1 to tie. Again, only 2 barebow archers have hit scoring rings.
This is very crucial for him to hit.
You see the coach
2.
moving up, or his teammate moving up with him, giving him a little pep talk, talking him through this. They know what's on the line here. They know how important this arrow is. See if experience by the Italian team comes through on this. And he missed the target. Wow. USA wins 45-44.
With the U.S. barebow giving that 1 point.
That was the difference in the match. 2 barebow archers all day hit that target. I'm just blown away by this.
From here, it definitely looks like a very intimidating target, and seeing how few people have hit that target today, you can tell it's very, very hard.
Well, 1-6 too. We look at it. These compound archers are used to hitting the 6 over and over and over again on all these targets, and we saw 1-6 all day.
And 1-5 too.
Pretty impressive show by these junior teams. Definitely showing up their senior counterparts, definitely listening to the advice I assume they were given. This is where having teammates shoot in these final matches before you is really a huge advantage. And we see this junior team's just ecstatic. I think that's the happiest team we've seen out there all day.
It's well deserved.
With that, that's a wrap for the 4 matches. We had, again, the women's team, senior team. We had the men's senior team, the junior women's team, and the junior men's team. All 4 world champions were crowned. We saw a variety of countries win. And tomorrow will be the individual final matches, so make sure you tune in again.
There will be a charity shoot. Everybody that tries to shoot at this target can pay €10. And the archer shooting closest to the center will win 50% of it. And the rest will go in charity. So the jackpot will be divided in charity and in prize money for the archer shooting for tomorrow evening. Let's see who will face this challenge tomorrow. Premiazioni, dopo l'ultima premiazione, chi paga €10 può tirare il paglione numero 4, 60 metri in salita. I soldi, €10 andranno in un jackpot che verrà diviso tra l'arciere che troverà la freccia più vicino al centro e l'altro 50% verrà dato in beneficenza. Provare a tirare questa grandissima piazzola, la madre di tutte le piazzole. So we are ready, almost ready for ceremony. So stay here and celebrate the athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women team. Signore e signori, la cerimonia di premiazione per la categoria squadre femminili. Medals will be presented by World Archery First Vice President. Le medaglie saranno consegnate dal primo vicepresidente di World Archery, signor Mario Scarzella. Bronze medal. Representing Slovenia. Medaglia di bronzo per la Slovenia. Ellison. Tina Goodman. Anna Umer. Silver medal. Representing Italy, medaglia d'argento per l'Italia. Noziglia, Jessica Tomasi, gold medal and world champion, medaglia d'oro e campione del mondo, representing Germany, per la Germania. Cortina Boscher. Caroline Landeswein. Lisa Unruh. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Germany. Signore e signori, alzate il cammino nazionale della Germania. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes. Signore e signori, fate un caloroso applauso ai nostri atleti. Medals will be presented by World Archery Secretary General. Le medaglie saranno consegnate dal segretario generale di World Archery, Mr. Tom Diller. Bronze medal representing Italy. Medaglia di bronzo per l'Italia. Alessandro Giannini, Marco Morello, Silver medal representing the United States of America. Medaglia d'argento per gli Stati Uniti d'America. Steve Anderson. John Deffer III. Brady Ellison. Gold medal and world champion representing Germany. Medaglia d'oro e campioni del mondo per la Germania. Jens Aspa. Florian Hallon. Michael Meyer. Ladies and gentlemen, please, Germania.
Da dietro.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes. Signore e signori, fate un caloroso applauso ai nostri atleti. Leading the field. Again, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's junior league. Signore e signori, la cerimonia di premiazione per la categoria giovanile junior femminile. Medals will be presented by World Archery First Vice President. Le medaglie saranno consegnate dal primo vicepresidente di World Archery, il signor Mario Scarzella. Bronze medal representing the United States of America. Medaglia di bronzo per gli Stati Uniti d'America. Faith Cook. Laura Hughes. Sophia Straka. Silver medal representing Italy. Medaglia d'argento per l'Italia. Sara Re. Aiko Rolando. Natalia Brunzio. Gold medal and world champion representing Sweden. Medaglia d'oro e campionessa del mondo per la Svezia. Kim Caroline Keck. Sara Liljeström. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Sweden. Signore e signori, alzatevi per l'inno nazionale della Svezia. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes. Signore e signori, fate un caloroso applauso ai nostri atleti, alle nostre atlete. Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men junior team. Signore e signori, la cerimonia di premiazione per la categoria squadre junior maschili. medals will be presented by World Archery Secretary General. Le medaglie saranno consegnate dal segretario generale di World Archery, Mr. Tom Dillon. Bronze medal representing Slovenia. Medaglia di bronzo per la Slovenia. Kasper Mocina. Stas Modic. Ziga Radnika. Silver medal representing Italy. Medaglia d'argento per l'Italia. Eric Esposito. Federico Musolesi. Jess Sud. Gol dei campioni del mondo per gli Stati Uniti d'America. Joseph Scarborough. Mark Sladra. Connor Sears. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of the United States of America. Signore e signori, alzatevi per... Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes. Signore e signori, fate un caloroso applauso ai nostri atleti. Thank you for everybody for joining us today at the first day of the finals in Cortina d'Ampezzo at the wonderful 1956 Olympic ski jump trampoline. We will be back tomorrow and I hope you will be back with us tomorrow morning at 9 for the individual finals going on the whole day. Speriamo di vedervi tutti domenica a partire dalle 9 per le finali individuali. giorno a partire dalle 9, sempre qui al magnifico trampolino olimpico del 1956 a Cortina d'Ampezzo, la regina delle Dolomiti. Grazie mille, buona serata, a domani. See you tomorrow, have a great evening.